Happy New Year. Welcome to the 30-day challenge. We are doing this together, and for those of you that have expressed a little bit of trepidation about this venture, I just want to assure you that we are going to take it day by day, and we're going to feel great, not only every day that we practice, but at the end of the 30 days, it's going to be feeling pretty amazing to have done yoga 30 consecutive days in a row. So I'm super excited that you've joined me on this adventure, and I know that we are going to have a blast, and we are all doing this on our own timelines, not at the same time. So I am your accountability partner. If you want to do weekly check-ins with me, I welcome you to do that. I also am including a 30-day private via Zoom call. If you want to set that up with me, it's not mandatory, but it could be useful to you. So keep that in mind. All right, let's get started. Today is all about twisting. We are going to use twisting poses to help us cleanse, detox, let go of 2020, bring in 2021. And twists are really rejuvenating and energizing. So it's a great way to kick off the year with this kind of practice. So let's begin. Have everybody come into child's pose. All you need for practice today is maybe a block. Otherwise, you don't need a whole lot, maybe a blanket. And you can just sit yourself back in child's pose, stretching the arms long, taking the tailbone down toward the floor, and taking a few deep breaths. And really let the exhales extend. Settling the brain, welcoming yourself to your mat, to your practice, and to the next 30 minutes. That's devoted to you. This is your time. Taking an inhale forward and finding yourself on hands and knees. You can bring the knees in a little bit closer together so they're hip distance. Just start to wake up your spine with cat-cow motion, exhaling as you round your back, inhaling as you arch your back. Just getting a feel for how the spine is responding to this movement. It's starting to bring a little more mobility, a little deeper range of motion. And just 3 more like that. Once more here. With your breath, you're exhaling as you round the spine as the belly contracts, and inhaling as you arch and the belly expands. And find your way back to a neutral position. Go ahead and extend your right leg back, and you're just going to set the inner right foot down on the floor. You're going to move your weight to the left side body and stack your right arm over your left arm. And then turning the palm to face off to the right, you're going to extend the arm and finding a side angle pose here. And because this is a twisting class, just attempt to point your chest toward the ceiling. Taking a few deep breaths as if your shoulder blades are helping your chest open up toward the sky. It should feel really good. We're going to come into thread the needle now. So with that right arm, you're going to move back to your right knee and take that big, long right arm through the space of your left limbs. Slide your left hand forward and turn your chest now to the left toward the ceiling. Go ahead and find your way back to your hands and knees. We'll do the same thing to the other side. So this time extending your left leg back, you're going to place your inner left foot down, moving weight to your right limbs, stacking that left arm over the right arm, and then just bringing a little bit of a back bend into it by moving your shoulder blades towards your chest, attempting to turn the chest toward the ceiling and aligning that top arm with your ear. Feeling a nice side body stretch here to the whole left side of your body. Breathe into that big stretch. Come to the top of an inhalation, and then on the exhale that follows, you're going to thread the length of that left arm through the right limbs. You can come back to your left knee and rest the head. Slide your right hand forward.
Take a few deep breaths here. You're, again, trying to turn your chest toward the ceiling. Big, big, nice cleansing breaths. Three more of them. Just kind of starting to get the body to become a little more supple for your practice. Moving through the cobwebs. Good. Go ahead and slide that right hand back. Bring that left arm out from underneath you. Turn your toes underneath and exhale, finding downward facing dog. And don't start with the legs. Keep your knees bent, heels lifted as you really push the floor away through the hands. Draw the hips away from the wrists. Lengthen your torso. And then begin to walk your heels down one at a time, waking up your legs. The next time your left heel goes down, you can keep it down. Invite your right leg up into the sky, as high as it will go. And then bend your right knee and point your hips to the right. And again, try to get your chest to turn toward the ceiling. Even though it might want to look at the floor, get the chest to turn toward the ceiling. We're going to take this into a pose. It's kind of a newer age pose called fallen triangle. So the right leg is now going to turn back from where it came. You're going to take the right leg through the left limbs to the outer edge of the foot. Transfer your weight to the inner edge of the left foot and open your chest now to the left. Okay, so a bigger pose. We're not going to hold it very long. You can bring your hand back to the floor, shoot the right leg back up. Take your toes down. Place your knees. Sit back for child's pose and just receive a couple of breaths here. Okay, so you get another try. That fallen triangle is a big pose. So give yourself a chance to kind of find your way into it on this side if you didn't on the first side. We'll come back to hands and knees, turn the toes under, exhale, extend your legs, you're back in downward facing dog. Walk your heels again. The next time your right heel comes down, leave it there and send your left leg up behind you. Taking the leg as high as it will rise. From there, bending the knee and pointing your hips to the left. Take a few breaths there, trying to get the chest to look to the side. And go ahead and revolve the hips back to facing the floor. And now you're going to thread the left leg through the space of the right limbs, coming to the outer edge of the foot. Pivot to the instep of the right foot. Stack your right arm over your left for fallen triangle. Couple breaths. Go ahead and make your way back to planting your right hand and shooting the left leg back out from underneath you, back up into the sky. Touching down with the toes. Place your knees wide, feet together. Sit back and take child's pose. Couple breaths. Wonderful. You're doing great. We're going to come back to hands and knees, table position. Curl your toes underneath. Exhale again back to downward facing dog. On an in-breath, raise your right leg, and on an exhale, step the right foot through, attempting to place the ankle in line with the knee. You're going to sweep your arms up and find yourself in a version of warrior one pose. Take the tailbone toward the front body and try to fully extend your left leg. Now hinging forward at the hips, extend the arms forward. Try to catch your left elbow outside your right thigh. Join your hands for prayer pose and pressurize your hands so that you can move your chest toward the right side. Think about bringing your breastbone toward your thumbs. Keep fully extending the back leg. Make sure you can smile, and if you can't smile, I like to say it's not worth it. Try to modify. Good. This is a version of revolving side angle pose. We're going to place our hands back on the floor and shoot the right leg back into the sky. Take the toes down. You can rest in child's pose or take a vinyasa sequence here. Planking, bending the elbows, taking chaturanga, bringing your body to the floor, arching the back for cobra. And now we're going to meet back up in downward facing dog. Couple moments there. Be with your breath. Be with your own experience. Inhale, raise the left leg, and exhale, step the foot through. Try to land the foot beneath the knee. Walk it into place if it didn't arrive there. And on an inhale, sweep the arms up, warrior one. Try to fully extend the right leg. Shooting energy up through the fingertips. Take your gaze slightly up. Come to the top of an in-breath and then hinge forward. You're going to bring the right elbow outside the left thigh. Bring your hands together for prayer pose and start to turn your chest to the left. This is where a block might come in handy. If you feel kind of off kilter here, you could place your right hand on a block and turn and with the left hand on the hip as a modified version. Good. Finishing an exhalation. Inhale yourself back, hands to the floor, and shoot the left leg back up into the sky. Take the toes down. And again, you can rest in child's pose here or float forward for plank. Come down through chaturanga dandasana and open up to cobra or upward facing dog. Floating the hips if you're taking upward facing dog. And we'll meet up in downward facing dog. So if you're in child, find your way there. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, step through. And this time you're going to straighten your right leg. You may want to put a block underneath your left hand. So if you feel like you're a little short on space, find a block and just tuck it under your left hand. So both legs are straight. Excuse me while I pull my pants up here. Both legs are straight. Right hand comes to the hip. Revolving triangle pose. So pushing down into the block or floor through the left hand, revolve your torso to the right. Try to compact your hips from right to left. Try not to drop your head here. Keep the crown of the head really representing the line of the spine that starts at the tailbone. And if you can, the cherry on top, the arm goes up. We reach up through the fingertips. Big breath. Finish up an inhale, exhale, you're going to come out of it. You can move the block aside if you're using one. Shoot the right leg back up into the sky. Either coming into child's pose from here or keeping the leg floating. Inhale forward for plank. Exhale chaturanga. Inhale, grounding both feet, cobra or upward facing dog. And we'll meet up in downward facing dog. So we're building heat in the body. Body's becoming like a warm piece of taffy. So we're building tapas, which is the heat, the discipline of the practice. Inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, step through. And begin to straighten both legs. You do not have to ground the back heel. Plant a block under your right hand if you need a little bit of additional height. Left hand to the left hip. Begin to revolve your torso to the left. Breathe with it. Wringing out the spine. Detox, letting go. Energize. Tap into the central energy channel. Good. Find your power here. Finishing off an exhalation, you can move back toward the floor. I forgot to tell you to stack that top arm for the last couple of breaths, so do that here if you didn't. And then you're going to turn back toward the floor. Slide the block out of the way again if you're using one. And shoot the left leg back up into the sky, downward facing dog. And again, you can find your way to child for modified, or you can keep the leg floating. Inhale for plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, grounding both feet, finding a back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk your feet in. Widen the feet a little bit wider than your hips. And then dangle here for a couple of breaths, catching your elbows in your hands. Bring yourself up to standing. You're going to step your feet wide and place a block right in the center. And you can adjust the height of the blocks. You don't need to necessarily know what height you're working with just yet. But take a wide stance with your feet. Ideally, one of your own legs could fit between your toes. Firm your legs, make sure they're straight, the knees aren't bent. We'll come into Prasarita Tanasana with a twist. So you'll hinge at the hips, come forward like you're folding over a tabletop or some level surface. And then you're going to bring your left hand onto your block, and this is where you can kind of pick a height that works for you. And it should be right underneath the sternum line. With the right hand on the right hip, start to turn your chest to the right. And when you feel or sense your shoulders are stacked vertically in space, stack the top arm and look toward those top fingertips. Reach really high on the next inhalation, and when you're ready to exhale, use that to bring you back down to facing the floor. You can switch the right hand out with the left hand. I meant to say that the other way around, but you know what I mean. Revolving your trunk now to the left. Try to keep your feet balanced. Keep extending through the crown of your head, from the tip of the tailbone out through the crown of the head. And then stack that top arm, that finishing piece, the cherry on top. Reach through those left fingertips. Revolve the trunk, revolve the torso, revolve the chest. Get your chest into the sunlight. Come to the top of the in-breath, reach through the fingertips. And on the exhalation, turn back toward the floor. And you can start to walk the feet in. Heels and toes. And bring yourself up to standing. So I realize my head is cut off, but don't need to see my head necessarily for the next piece. Standing chair, revolving chair pose, Utkatasana. So join your legs, join your feet. We're going to start with the arms already overhead. Inhale here, and on an exhale, bend your knees. Attempt to get your thigh bones pretty much level with the floor. One day, someday, right? Hands to prayer, hands to the heart center. We're going to be twisting to the right first. So inhale nice and big here. Exhale, take your left arm onto your right thigh and revolve your chest to peek to the right. Keep sitting low in that imaginary chair. And again, try to think about that idea of the breastbone coming to the thumbs. Two more exhales. And after that second one, you can just kind of ragdoll at the center. Let your arms dangle like empty coat sleeves. Let your head dangle. You might even shake it out a little bit. And then go ahead and stand yourself up nice and tall and raise the arms back up. Come to the top of an in-breath. On your exhale, sit down, go nice and deep. Bring your hands to prayer to the heart center. Catch right elbow outside left thigh and start to revolve the chest to the left. Try to squeeze the pelvic floor just a little bit so that you don't lose that energy of the spine in a downward way. Keep the energy shuttling up. Two more exhales. You're building heat here. One of the translations for this pose is fierce pose. So try to feel or find your fierceness. Okay, go ahead and ragdoll at the center. Arms dangling, head dangling. Shake your head if you need to. Let go of any unnecessary tension here. Good. And now make your way to seated. We're going to find our way to seated on the mat. Have a block underneath you. So if you own a block, great. Otherwise, you can substitute a blanket. We'll come into a seated twist. So sitting on a block or blanket, you're going to bring your right knee in front of your right hip, your left foot either to the thigh side of your right knee or the shin side. That's up to you. Okay, we're going to raise the right arm, and on an exhale, drop the arm to connect with the left thigh. Start to help yourself turn by using that arm against your thigh to help you turn into a nice deep twist. Twists climb from lowest to highest, so make sure you're not twisting at the neck initially. The neck should come towards the very end of your twist. And when you sense it's time, you'll just turn and look over the back shoulder. Finishing an exhale on your inhale, you can just unhook the right arm, come back to center, bring the arm down. We'll switch out the legs. So you can tuck your left heel in near your right sitting bone and either step the right foot alongside the shin or alongside the thigh. Okay, we're going to raise the left arm, and on an exhale, drop the arm to connect with your right thigh. Use that to help you turn and revolve the torso. Exhale by exhale, going deeper. And twists, you'll really notice if you've eaten or drank anything recently, because they really do stimulate the digestive system. So you might notice some air coming up or some different noises in your body when you twist. So we're going to inhale, unhook the arm to release that twist, and you can extend your legs out in front of you now. We're going to come into revolving head to knee pose, so Prasarita Janu Shirshasana. So you can just begin by drawing the left leg, by bending the knee, draw the heel toward you, and then you're going to drop the knee out wide and just kind of tuck the foot in close to the inner right leg. So because we're revolving this pose, we're going to use the support of a block or blanket to the inside of the right leg. You can use whatever height you need, although the tallest height might be a little wobbly, so just kind of be aware of that. And we're going to prop the right arm on that support. You take your left hand to your left knee and just press down there. And then use the support of your legs and the pressure of your hands and that grounded forearm to help you turn your chest to the left. And we're revolving the pose. So in the non-revolved pose, we're bending over the leg with the front body. In the revolved pose, we're attempting to get the back body to face that leg. So it's a deep revolution of the spine. We're not going to be there today, but just taking some moments here to really feel the deep twist. If you can, bring the hand off the left knee and reach up and over with that left arm toward the right foot. You could go a little bit deeper that way. Good. Use a strong in-breath to help lift you up and out of that big pose. And then go ahead and stand up your left knee and extend your left leg. Give your legs a little shake to let go of any unwanted stuck energy in the legs. And then we'll bend the right knee, bring the heel in close, and drop the knee out wide. You can tuck the foot in closer if you're able to. You can always support this floating knee if you want a blanket there to give it a little extra sensation of being cradled or held. The block is going to go now inside the left leg, and we're going to ground the forearm. And again, you pick what height of block works for you. Right hand pressurizes the right thigh, and you're going to push down with your legs and your hands to try to get the chest to point to the right now, to come out of the shadows into the light, into the sunlight. And if you get that sensation that you could take up that right hand and reach the arm up and over without losing anything of this pose, you're going to do that. Good. 2 more breaths here. In yoga, we like to say you root to rise. So spend more effort on the rooting quality, the rising will occur on its own. Wonderful. Use a big, strong inhale to help you up and out of that pose, keeping the space that you've cultivated there. Standing up the right knee, extending the leg. And again, give your legs a good shake. I keep checking my phone because I have a timer there, so that's the only reason for that. We're going to finish with the seated twist with a revolving version of wide-legged seated forward bend, Upavishta Konasana. So just take your legs wide, point your toes up, your kneecaps up, and press your legs into the floor. We're going to kind of rest the left arm on the left thigh, reach the right arm up and over. And again, it's like you're pointing your chest away from the left leg, so toward the right. And then you're going to turn and face your left leg. Do a complete revolution, bow toward that leg. Keep yourself low and creep your hands to center. And then inhale, walk the hands in, bring yourself upright. We'll do this a few times on each side. Prop your right arm on your right thigh. Inhale the left arm up and over. Press down with that forearm to help you point your chest up to the left. Bringing that right side body around. Good. Come to the top of an in-breath on the exhale. Turn and face your right leg. Bow over it. Come down nice and low. And inhale, creeping your hands to center. Reach out as far as you can. And then walk the hands in and stack your spine. Okay, so once more to each side. We'll rest that left arm on the left thigh. Inhale the right arm up and over. Try to point your chest to the right. Try to bring the left side body around. As if the torso, the back body is going to face that left leg. And then turn to face the left leg with your front body. Bow over the leg. Crawling to center, keep it low. And then inhale, stack the spine. Exhale. Last time, last side. Pressurize that right forearm on your thigh. Inhale, left arm up and over, looking to the left. Try to use the arm contact to bring that right side body forward and around. Come to the top of an inhale, and then exhale, turn and bow over the right leg. Keep it low, creep your hands to center, and then inhale, stack your spine. Exhale when you're there. Go ahead and move the legs back together. Maybe give them a little shake. And then you'll find your way onto your back. Okay, so if you have a strap, great. It's not necessary, but it can be useful for the next pose. We can definitely get by without it, but I recommend for the 30-day challenge, you could grab a bathrobe tie if you don't own a strap. I think most of you do, though, own a strap. And I do have extras for sale very cheaply. If you want one, just let me know. So we're going to come into Prasarita Padangusthasana, our last and final twist before final resting pose. So we'll hug the right leg into the body. If you have a strap, I'm actually going to teach it without. If you have a strap here, you can hook the foot and extend the leg. So that's obvious what we do from there. We go to the side. For most of you, you know that. But if you don't have a strap, you're going to work with a bent knee. You're going to grab the shin with your left hand. We're going to guide ourselves so that our right hip stacks above the left. And then we're going to unfold the right arm out to the side. Straighten out the bottom leg. And then if you're holding your shin, you're not using the strap, you can start to extend the leg and support the leg from behind. So your gaze is important in yoga, what you're looking at, not only to direct attention, but to guide the pose and the energy of the pose. So you're either going to look up to the ceiling or off to the right. These are big twisting opportunities. So the next 3 exhales, just try to let something go. It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be emotional. It could be a thought that recurs all over and over again. So just try to let something be washed away with the exhalation. On your inhale, just help yourself gently, safely find center. And you can step down, you can move your strap to your left foot if you're working with that. Otherwise, hug your left leg in and right hand will hold the shin. Guide your legs to the right, stacking the left hip above the right. You can unfold the left arm to the side, straighten out the bottom leg. Maybe keep the top leg bent if you need that, otherwise start to extend the leg. Big old exhalations here. So these are quick classes, and if you decide Shavasana should be longer for yourself, even if the class has ended, the recorded class has ended, feel free to always stay in your Shavasana for extra time. I'm not going to have huge Shavasanas for these recordings just because I want to devote most of the class time to our physical practice. But I do welcome you to really enjoy your Shavasana for as long as you feel that you want to. So with that being said, come back to center. Take any final movements, maybe a little hug of the legs in, a little reclining child's pose, maybe circling the knees, maybe widening the knees, maybe happy baby, rocking, drawing the feet in one at a time. And then you can plant your feet, extend your legs, extend your arms. This is a pose, but it's a pose of 0 effort. And this pose integrates what we just did with the quieting of the mind. When we address the physical tensions, they naturally influence tension in the mind. The only real requirement of this pose is staying present, conscious, noticing and allowing. Noticing anything that you do notice, and then allowing it. When you're ready to leave the pose, you'll move to your side and come to seated. Make sure to sit for a few moments before you move on with your day. And I'll leave you all here. Many blessings for this coming new year. I'm excited to be with you all for the next 30 days. Namaste.